And we've seen the police force also coming through with one of the first few people to come and view the body of Nelson Mandela, the former president of the National African Congress, the African National Congress, as well as the Republic of South Africa. But with me is the former Transkei Defence Force. Back then it was called the Defence Force. Major General Ndlulani. So good morning, welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
Give us a bit of your memories of working under Utata Mandela back then.
When I think about Madiba, two incidents spring to mind. The first one happened in 1992 while we were still in the Transkei Defence Force. Madiba was invited by the then Commander General Olomisa to come to dinner with the officers of the Transkei Defence Force. It was a period of great anxiety and uncertainty for the TDF at that time, because it was the period of CODESA talks, and there were rumors that the TBVC armed forces are going to be disbanded. So it was under those conditions that he came in. And during the dinner, I think he sensed our anxiety, and in his address, he gave us his view of the new South Africa, and also his view of the new defense force, indicating that everybody from whatever former force the person served in, if he's willing to serve, the new defense force will be a place for him, regardless of color or for former force, whatever. So that was very reassuring. And at the end, and he was also telling us that we must take part in this integration process. We must not sit back, we must be involved, because we'll be crafting our future. At the end, we felt very relieved, and we were looking forward now to the integration with much hope, and which we did. We integrated. That's why you are here today.
What struck you about him in that meeting? What kind of person was he?
It was the first person for me to see him in flesh. I happened to be the program director also in the function, so we had a lot of time to talk to one another, asking me, "Sonny, what's your name? Where do you come from?" When I told him I'm coming from Pego, he said, "Oh, you're my homeboy. This is just on the other side of Kunu." So he made everybody feel free, feel relieved, feel at ease. And then when he spoke, you felt that this is the right thing that I'm hearing now. You felt instantly that this is the truth. And you felt that, no, I'll do whatever is in my power to make sure that what he's saying, I carry it out to the best of my ability.
What are some of the lessons that South Africans, ordinary South Africans, can draw from this amazing man?
Madiba was a great leader, a leader of men and women, a great soldier, a great statesman, a diplomat, and a politician. So we learned a very good lesson from him. And moreover, on his human side, besides all those big attributes, he was a loving father to his family and a loving grandfather to his grandchildren. That is something that is worth imitating. So we feel very honored that we had a leader like him. And even as he passes, we know that he's left the way, he has shown the way, he showed the example. But he had to go. This reinforces what Shakespeare said long ago, that death lays his icy hands even on kings.
Now, why do you think you felt he needed to integrate the Transkei Defence Force into the National Defence Force? I mean, he could have easily decided, it would be its own defence force, but he felt the need to integrate everybody.
That is typical of Madiba, a great reconciliator. Had that not happened, we see what happens in our neighbors up north when a new government is in place and the rest of the armed forces are not integrated in that process. It creates a lot of problems. We've seen that. But he foresaw that in his own wisdom, that it is better to make sure that the new defense force is a force for all forces, so that there should be no undertones of dissatisfaction at the end.
How do we continue his legacy? How do we push it forward?
What we have to do now, because as the commander of the chief of the defense force, he set out his goals and his objectives, which are still in place even now. So what we have to do now as we proceed into the future, we should have to make sure that we stay within his guidelines to make sure that this defense force fulfills this purpose within the RSA and abroad.
All right, Major General, thank you so much for talking to us. Major General Ndlulani served in the former Transkei Defense Force, and back then President Nelson Mandela made sure that they were integrated into the South African National Defense Force, the SANDF, as we know it today.